Hello, hello, hello. This is Lifestyle for Living. I want to come on and give you an update of week 1 on Zepbound. If you've been following me, you know my doctor and I decided to change me over from Wegovy to Zepbound. I did a video on that. I can probably put that up here or below here or somewhere on here the screen so you can see it. But I actually have switched from Wegovy to Zepbound. I actually was not losing hardly any weight after 5 months of taking Wegovy, and my doctor decided that maybe actually Zepbound would be more effective for me. So please check out my video where I talk about if you're over 50 and you're having a hard time losing weight on a Glp-1 medication, that these are some of the things that could be impacting you to impact your slow weight loss. But with that said, I'm very excited to report that I have lost 3 pounds, and I lost 3 pounds within 4 days. I am actually traveling to be with my family for Thanksgiving, so I decided to get on the scale before I got on the plane to see what I was. Even though I know my sister has a scale, it was something about me saying, hey, let me just check it on my scale first before I got to her scale. And when I got on the scale before heading out to be with my family for the holidays, ding, 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 I've lost 3 pounds. I started out around 195. As you can see here, I'll show the screenshot of the actual scale. And when I got on the scale 4 days later, I was 3 pounds down. Imagine my surprise, because really I had not changed really anything. I just took the shot. I tried to drink my water. I tried to do the things that I needed to do. And I was really grateful because I don't know about you, going into Thanksgiving, I was a little hesitant because I think a lot of us who are on weight loss journeys are a little nervous around the holidays. I can tell you for me, because this is such a special time for me, being with my family, eating good food brings so many celebratory thoughts in my head. I have so many great memories of it. And so going into the holidays, I was like, oh man, I don't want to be in here so stressed out about what I eat. And I want to say this, believe it or not, stressing out over what you're eating can elevate your cortisol levels. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't think about the fact that because they're stressed out about eating, it raises their cortisol levels, and that's just as damaging as just going ahead and taking a bite of the food. So I wanted to give you a few tips to try to help mediate or help me go through the course of the holidays to do a little better. Now, one tip I saw, which was a good tip, was saying drink more water throughout the day. That's very crucial. Staying hydrated is crucial. Having good hydration actually helps you with your food. So one of the things, if I had to tell you something during this Thanksgiving holiday, is when you go into Thanksgiving, try to start drinking more water throughout the day. The next tip that I saw, which was a good tip, was the order that you eat your food. A lot of people don't realize that by eating food in a certain order, it will help you be satiated and feel fuller quicker. There was a book out there by the glucose goddess that talked about the order that you eat your food, and how if you eat your proteins and your vegetables first, that will help with you feeling fuller and satiated quicker. So if you're going to actually take a tip from me going into Thanksgiving, I would say eat your turkey first, and then eat your vegetables, and then follow with your actual starches and your dessert. So that's one of the tips that I could tell you too going in. You're going to drink your water throughout the day, and then when you start getting ready to eat, you're going to eat your protein first, then your vegetables, then your starch foods, and then your actual desserts. Because another thing I did in my study, and I found out, especially with me being a pre-diabetic, if I eat my proteins and my vegetables first, it actually curbs my glucose spike. Believe it or not, studies have shown by eating your protein and your vegetables first, it will curb your glucose spike. Another tip that I would give you is actually strategically think about your portion sizes. And I can tell you, from somebody like me who has a large, well, not a large family, but a good sized family, and we're going to actually have about 12 different dishes, and every dish is delish. I'm going in here going, okay, portion sizes, how are we going to do that? But I will tell you, by being on this GLP medication, we all know that we usually get fuller quicker. We don't eat as much. So when you think about your portion sizes, it may be, okay, I'm going to take a spoonful of this, a spoonful of this, a spoonful of this, and a spoonful of this. And then you do that, and then you circle back and say, okay, I'm good. I'm not too full. And maybe you can get another spoonful. So rather than overloading your plate, and especially if you're going to start with your protein and your vegetables first, you can do your portion size for your protein and your vegetables, then see how you feel, then go from there. But another tip I'm going to give you, and this tip is take time to be mindful about what you're eating and to chew slowly. Studies have shown that when you chew a little slower, it registers to your brain and your body that you actually are eating, and it can actually potentially help you actually feel satiated and fuller quicker. If you remember, there was years ago, they used to say you should chew your food so many times before you actually swallow. Now, of course, no one's really up here going, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. So what you got to do is take the time. And I've even tried to practice this on my own, where I'll take a bite of something. And especially like if I'm at home by myself, I'll chew it. I'll close my eyes and say, oh man. And have you ever known, if you chew your food a lot slower, the flavors seem to give a more pop? That's something that I found for me, is when I chew slower, it seemingly I can taste the food better. So another tip I would give you going into Thanksgiving is to chew your food slower and be mindful about it. But to tie that all in, if you're like me and my family, we actually sit around the table, we have the spread out, we're kind of passing the food around, and we're talking and laughing and have a good time. So in that place, this is where you could actually take a bite of food, kind of absorb, get into the conversation, chew your food slower. You're not up there like humping it in. You're actually just enjoying the moment with your family, enjoying the time with your family. Another tip I would say is, I saw it said actually reduce your alcohol and sugary drinks. Well, if you're on a weight loss journey, you probably already have incorporated that, such as even drinking the water. You probably already incorporated drinking more water. But one of the things is, when you're around your family and during the holidays, you're going to bring out the spirits and the actual drinks, and you're going to think about, okay, yeah, I can have some wine, or I can have something else. But one of the things I thought about this time going in is to not stress out. Meaning, I'm going in with the mindset that if I want it, I'm going to have it. I'm just going to be more mindful about it, and I'm just not going to do a lot of it. But one of the things, if you found, and you saw another video I did, it talked about being purposeful of the benefits of what you're doing. And when you really think about, if you try to cut all this stuff out now and you're stressing about it, that's not as healthy. That's not really healthy. And then it makes you feel like you're not really enjoying the moment. Now, of course, everybody is different. We all have those things that we feel as though we got to rein in. I've met some people who feel like, hey, they got to be totally restrictive. And then I have the opposite end of the spectrum where people feel like, hey, I'm just going to enjoy the moment, but I'm going to be more mindful about it. So if I had to give you a tip on that for going into Thanksgiving, I would say be mindful about it, chew your food slower, and think about that. And especially with the alcohol and the sugary drinks, I found, and they've been saying, studies have shown, when you drink sugary drinks, it actually does a trigger in your brain to make you feel like you want more things. It's almost like if you eat potato chips, and they say you can't eat just one. It's like if you eat that chip, you kind of feel like, oh, I need another chip. Oh, I need another chip. That's the same thing can be with sugary drinks. If you drink something sugary, it can make a trigger for you to think that you want more, and you really don't want more, but it's something about that addictiveness to the sugar. So back to the thing of, I'm not going to deny myself. I'm going to eat. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to relax. So this even means when it comes to desserts, I'm going to pick a dessert and I'm going to say, okay, this is what I want. I'm going to do a small portion of it. I'm going to eat it and enjoy it and then say, okay, I enjoyed it. It was good. Now, I do realize there are some people who actually really do have food addictions and they really struggle with their food addiction. So I am in no way making light of that. I think that if you're one of those persons and you know that this is an area that is of high concern for you, please note that you might have to do some other things to modify a little bit. But I thought I would just come on and give you a few little tips that I'm kind of taking into the holidays. This is in no way telling you what to do, but I think if you take some of these into the holidays, it may help you go in a little and not be as stressed out about it, because really think about it, stressing out about it can be worse than you just going ahead and taking that bite. Now, I'm not telling you to take the bite, but I'm just saying being stressed about it can be impactful. So I just want to come on and give you an actual update of week 1 of me being on the Zepbound. To date, I've lost 3 pounds. I will tell you what I do and how I do over this week of Thanksgiving. We'll see if I gain or lose continually. Now, one thing I will say, I wear a continuous glucose monitor, and I've noticed that to date, when I eat certain foods, it is actually seemingly this Zepbound is controlling my glucose levels a lot better than what the Wegovy was. And I can't really say the reasons why. I'll probably look into the science of that a little more. But I can say by wearing my continuous glucose monitor, I have actually seen my glucose levels look like they've been a lot lower than when I was taking the Wegovy. So again, this is Lifestyle for Living. I want to say thank you again for watching me. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. And let me say this again, life is too short not to live. So let go of whatever's making you stop and add anything that will propel you to the great and wonderful future that God has for you. Be blessed, and I'll talk to you later.